Hey people of the places. Today I want to talk about how Rogue Core could improve. I saw a lot of criticism on my last video, though the majority of comments were positive or constructive at the very least, and I appreciate that. Only talking about the positive side of a game, especially when it's in early access, is not necessarily going to benefit the long-term development of the game. So let's talk about a few ways that Rogue Core can improve. I do want to see more powerful perks, and perks that can be stacked with each other, not necessarily amplifying each other, but at the very least working together, where it feels like we have 2 of this and 2 of that and 2 of that. It doesn't make a significant difference to the gameplay. I think a lot of the players want to see big buffs that actually changes the class they're playing so that they can truly customize their character. And the same goes for the upgrades in-game. When you mine enough Exponite, deposit it, and upgrade, you want to see things that are at least minorly relevant to some of the upgrades you took previously. And you also want to see things that are possibly relevant to your own character and the loadout that you have right now. When my friends open an upgrade, and we see 3 fire upgrades and 1 health boost, and no one has a gun that uses fire, that's pretty disappointing. You would think that there would at least be a little more variety to those upgrades, instead of seeing 3 of the same thing on one screen, which has happened to me twice, as far as I recall, where it was exclusively upgrades for something none of us had, and only for one thing, specifically fire both times. When you can stack upgrades and make them work together, the game becomes so satisfying. But when you can't, it becomes nearly impossible to complete a level that is at a satisfying difficulty. It makes you have to take a step back and play a lower level, relying on the luck. And of course, luck should be a major factor, but you want to have options that are relevant to your class, and relevant to the gear you're using. So some streamlining for that system would be great. I'm also not a huge fan of everyone having to gather around Ellis to get their upgrades, because we have had situations where one person is 200 meters away on the opposite side of the cave as we are, and that means we can't get our upgrade for a really long time. But I understand why they've done it that way, and I do think it encourages team play and cooperation, and the same goes for the shared loot pool. You're encouraging team play, you're encouraging cooperation, you're forcing people to work together. But I wouldn't hate if the upgrades functioned just like the toolbox, where everyone has their own upgrade screen. That being said, pausing the timer during these upgrades would be a little bit odd, because of course some people are going to finish their upgrade immediately, and some people will take 30 seconds to a minute. But honestly, for me, where we're at right now, the biggest thing that I really want to see is what we know they're already going to provide. A bigger variety of enemies, with more bosses, and some more interesting map design would be great. I think it's really good for early access. While I wouldn't say release this into 1.0, it does need tuning, it needs more content. I think this game will definitely scratch an itch for a lot of people, and be very satisfying to the people who do enjoy it. And I don't think that you should be steered away from the game entirely simply because of these complaints. Keep in mind that we're going to need to give it time to see what they do with it, but I'm sure they'll make some satisfying changes as time goes on. Thanks for watching, everybody.